As we dive deeper into the heart of this season, one undeniable truth is emerging about the Green Bay Packers. Their special teams continue to be a source of frustration, and their inability to rise above mediocrity is costing them more than just a few games. Let's be clear, special teams are not just a minor detail. In a league where every yard, every second, and every moment of possession matters, the Packers' special teams are turning what could be wins into agonizing losses, and it's becoming harder to ignore. Through the first few weeks of this season, Green Bay has repeatedly been on the losing end of pivotal plays in the kicking game. Against Cleveland, the Packers were on the verge of taking a crucial 13-10 lead, only to have their field goal blocked. That one play shifted the momentum, ultimately contributing to their loss. Fast forward to the game against Dallas, and once again, special teams failed them. This time with a blocked extra point and a disastrous kickoff return that set up the Cowboys for a late touchdown. These are the types of plays that, when added up, shape the entire trajectory of a season. A few inches, a split second of misfortune, and the Packers are no longer looking at an undefeated record. They're left wondering what could have been. Now, as we examine the Packers' performance in the first edition of Packers on SI's Special Teams rankings for the year, there's no sugarcoating the reality. With a rank of 24th, Green Bay's special teams are a glaring weak link in an otherwise promising roster. Let's break down what's going wrong, where the Packers can improve, and why this must be a priority if they are to become true contenders in 2025. Punting, a bright spot in a sea of struggles. There's a glimmer of hope in the punting game, with Daniel Whelan ranking 11th in net average. His 51.8-yard punting average is impressive, and his hang time is among the best in the league. But the truth is, punting is only as good as its net results. And while Whelan has shown flashes of brilliance, his punts haven't consistently delivered optimal field position. At the end of the day, punting is a field position battle, and despite Whelan's talent, the Packers are still too often forced to give opponents favorable starting positions. The Packers have to capitalize on these rare moments of positive special teams play. Field goals, inconsistent and unreliable. When it comes to field goal kicking, the Packers are stuck in the middle of the pack, ranked 22nd overall. Brandon McManus has been good but not great. With a 7 of 9 mark on field goals, he's been effective, but the critical miss against Cleveland, a blocked field goal that could have sealed a win, cannot be overlooked. When you're in the NFL, your kicker must be reliable, especially when a game is on the line. McManus knows this, as he reflected on the importance of trusting his protection unit. Yet, even with that trust, it's clear that the entire operation must improve to ensure that such breakdowns don't continue to cost the Packers crucial games. Special teams can be the difference between a win and a loss, and this team has yet to make that difference more often than not. Punt returns, a disaster in the making. If we're being honest, the Packers' punt return game is downright embarrassing. Ranked 30th in the league, Green Bay is averaging a miserable 5.2 yards per return. What makes this worse is the fact that their returner, rookie Matthew Golden, is essentially learning on the job, with zero previous experience returning punts. The result? He sits at the very bottom of the league in return average, with just 4.7 yards per return. The Packers have struggled in this area for years, and the lack of improvement here is staggering. Without a reliable threat in the return game, they're losing the hidden yardage battle and giving opponents an advantage they don't deserve. Kickoff returns. No help for the offense. When it comes to kickoff returns, things are just as bleak. With an average starting field position of the 27-yard line, well below the league average, Green Bay is routinely putting their offense in difficult situations. The Packers' return game has been flat-out ineffective, and against Dallas, they started 3 separate drives inside their own 20-yard line after poor handling of kicks near the goal line. This isn't just a minor setback. It's a significant issue that limits the offense's ability to start drives with favorable field position and puts added pressure on Aaron Rodgers and the rest of the offense to play catch-up from the get-go. Kickoff coverage, solid, but still room for improvement. At least the Packers can take some solace in their kickoff coverage, where they rank 11th in the league. While they're not setting any records, they're preventing opponents from taking advantage of their kicks, with opponents starting at the 29-yard line on average. However, this isn't a perfect solution. With their kickoff return struggles and inability to gain field position in other areas, the Packers need more than just decent coverage. They need a total overhaul of their special teams philosophy, something that can turn this unit into a real weapon, not just a passive participant. Rich Bisaccia, a work in progress, but time is running out. Rich Bisaccia, the Packers' special teams coordinator, is a man who's been around the block. He's seen the highs and he's seen the lows. His optimism is admirable, but let's face it, this group can't afford to just keep building on it. Bisaccia himself acknowledged that the Packers' special teams have had moments of success, but the reality is clear. They're stuck in neutral, and the mistakes are costing games. The Packers are a work in progress, but they've been a work in progress for too long. It's time for results, not just promises. Ultimately, it's no secret that Green Bay's special teams are underperforming. If they are to take the next step and become true Super Bowl contenders, this is the area that must be fixed. As Bisaccia said, special teams can make or break a game. With the Packers teetering on the edge of greatness, their failure to address these glaring issues could very well be the difference between a playoff berth and another disappointing year. The time to fix it is now. The Packers cannot afford to waste any more opportunities. They must act decisively and fix their special teams. If they don't, their championship aspirations will be just as empty as their special teams rankings. Let's see if they can turn this around before it's too late.